A very good morning, and as we still wait for people to come in, I think they're recovering from the shock of what happened to gold prices overnight. Nobody expected that kind of a jump up. I mean, of course, we've seen 9% of gains until now in gold prices in the month of March, and what happened last evening was nothing less of a phenomenal run-up that we've seen into this one. I was talking to Mr. Mehta, and 2236 of an all-time high now. 2230 or thereabouts is where the gold prices is trading right now. बहुत ज़्यादा तेज़ी ऑल टाइम हाई 70,000 ऑलरेडी यहाँ पर आ चुके हैं. लास्ट टाइम सेम टाइम शायद 55-56,000 के आसपास के प्राइसेस थे और जिस तरह का जंप अप यहाँ पर देखने को मिला है, आई थिंक जो बात हम करते हैं या जो बात हम यहाँ पर हर बार इस गैदरिंग में करते आए हैं वो इस बार बहुत ज़्यादा चेंज हो जाएगी. बिकॉज जिस तरह से गोल्ड के प्राइसेस मूव किए हैं, पूरी की पूरी कॉन्वर्सेशन में यहाँ पर एक डिफरेंस आता हुआ नजर आएगा. एंड काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग पैनल है हमारे साथ यहाँ पर, बिकॉज वील बी टॉकिंग अबाउट द सप्लाई चेन, जिसमें भी यहाँ पर बहुत चेंजेस हैं. सो वील टॉक अबाउट फ्यूचर ऑफ गोल्ड सप्लाई चेन. वी हैव जूलर्स, क्वालिफाइड रिफाइनरीज, एंड वी ऑल्सो हैव IIBX हियर. सो क्लियरली अब यहाँ से इन प्राइसेस पे विद द काइंड ऑफ मेजर्स, विद द काइंड ऑफ पॉलिसीज दैट वी हैव, how is the business going to move on from here is going to be very, very interesting. Mr. Gautam, let me start with you. And, even as we talk about the future of gold supply chain, with the way the gold prices have moved, how is the supply chain to you looking like right now? We do import gold via various views, and we'll be talking about that across our panel. But with the way the gold prices have moved, पिछले 15-20 दिनों में कुछ business हुआ है?
So, I mean, I thought ki, in the cricket, the first ball is a trial ball, but this came as a beamer. So, okay. So honestly, last 15 days we did not have a trade, and though we did have one trade. Somebody wanted to try out whether he was a valid TRQ holder, so he wanted to try out, and he bought 100-gram gold bar. So I'm being very honest. We wanted to do a trial trade, but I mean the point is this kind of upswing which came in the prices, though many people had predicted it will come, but they never predicted it will come so soon, and it was rather sudden. But I think on the back of what happened in the month of February, we can't complain if nothing happened in March. So in that sense, yes. And if you started with the supply chain piece, so there I just want to tell everyone that we have both sets of contracts, LBMA and UAE Good Delivery. But essentially right now on the exchange, what is running is that India UAE SEPA. Under that, on the gold piece, we have the TRQ gold, which is taking off. And of course, on the silver side, the SEPA silver. And suddenly we realized that because of the concessions which are inbuilt in SEPA for the gold and silver gets imported from UAE. So most of the supply chain now has shifted from UAE and it is coming to us. So we have a well-settled supply chain. There are more and more players who are looking to come to us, not only from Dubai, but from other parts of the world also. But we have seen one important trend, that many entities who were earlier talking to us from Hong Kong, Singapore, and maybe Bangkok. So what they're saying, okay, we'll come to you, but we'll come to you through our subsidiary in UAE, because of they would like to take part in that whole SEPA trade. But that's on the supply side. And on the buy side, of course, we will talk about it as we go.
As we go ahead. Of course, I'm taking the first comments from everyone, and I'm also seeing if they've recovered from what happened in the last evening there. Neville, I'll come to you then. And first reactions on the kind of price moves we've seen, and how do you see the supply chain getting impacted because of that too?
Sorry, can you come again?
While you were adjusting your... I want to know if the current price move is also going to impact the supply chain in some sense.
So obviously it does impact demand, that's for sure. So generally what you see when you see price action like this, you see on ground, sales getting impacted. Generally when you see gold prices going up, what you see is that the stocking by jewelers is delayed because they're expecting a price to come down.
I don't think they're expecting that.
No, it's not happening. But what you're seeing this time is that what we gather is that on ground retail sales is getting impacted. What we'll also start seeing is that more and more scrap will come to the market. So you will in essence see that import gold will come down. But it's a matter of time, right? I mean, earlier when we were at 1600, 2000 seemed like, you know, nobody'd ever buy gold. Today are 2200. So I think a price correction downward, you will see some buying interest come back again. But overall, from the supply side, I don't see any major impact because India is a big market for the world and people will continue to supply. So I don't see that as an issue. Yeah.
All right. Vipin, this one is to you. From a 55,000 last year to a 70,000 right now. I mean, my first comment to you is really price related because I will come about the supply chain part of it. But at these prices, how as an industry are you looking at what going forward from here?
So there are two things what we have noticed. I mean, in my experience, as long as gold remains volatile, we don't see any buying happening. The moment it stabilizes, even if today, let's assume that gold stables at around 2200, the buying is definitely going to come in. Another thing what we have also seen is that the buying power, you know, as the prices are going up, the purchase power of people are coming down. Those who were buying 10 grams, 15 grams, 20 grams earlier, now, you know, they are living within those means, you know, buying 8 grams, 6 grams, because they have that limited money to spend. I mean, as you correctly said, last year 55,000 rupees I could buy a 10-gram coin. Today, I still have 55,000, I can't buy a 10 gram. So that has impacted the market. Now, whether the price is going to go down or go up, no one can say. And, you know, yesterday was something, a big surprise for everyone. But my feeling is India will keep on buying, whether the market is at 70 or 80,000. The purchase power of people will come down a little, and we have to live with that. So that's...
Okay, I know this is a question मैं जो बहुत लोगों को पूछती हूँ कि इतने prices ऊपर बढ़ गए, लोग लेंगे क्या, कैसे लेंगे, market change हो रही है. The one answer that I always get from the industry is भारत 1000 साल से सोना खरीद रहा है, हर प्राइस पे खरीद रहा है, तो वो तो कहीं नहीं जाने वाला. Of course, थोड़ा सा टाइम जरूर लगता है बाजार को यहाँ पर सेटल होने के लिए. वासु भाई, this question is to you. फेब में हम जानते हैं कि बाइंग 50% गिर गई थी रिटेल की तरफ से. मार्च में मानना है कि 80% तक यहाँ पर बाइंग गिर गई है. सप्लाई चेन्स आप कैसे देखते हैं और कैसे देखते हैं आप यहाँ पर प्राइसेस भी?
देखिए मैडम, जो सप्लाई चेन है ना, बेसिकली अभी प्राइस ओरिएंटेड मार्केट है और अभी गोल्ड का जो डिमांड है ना वो हमेशा जिगजैग रहता है क्योंकि प्राइस भी क्या है कि ओवरऑल जियोपॉलिटिकल के ऊपर रन कर रहा है. तो यूएस ट्रेजरी जितना भी पेपर प्रिंटिंग हो रहा है उसके साथ साथ गोल्ड भी एज अ करेंसी के तौर पे ट्रीट हो रहा है. तो हम जैसे मैं आपको एक इंसिडेंस बताता हूँ कि 2007 में जब लेहमैन ब्रदर्स का ये प्रॉब्लम शुरू हुआ था तभी जो डिस्पैरिटी था जो 3 महीना चला था, फिर 2012 में अपने यहाँ इश्यूज शुरू हुए थे कि स्लो डाउन शुरू हो गया था, तो अभी भी इतना डिस्पैरिटी चला था. पर अभी ये पीरियड में इतना डिस्पैरिटी नहीं चल रहा है. 15-20 दिन में जो शॉर्ट टर्म बायर हैं वो माल बेच के जा रहे हैं, मगर जो लॉन्ग टर्म है वो अभी भी टिके हुए हैं. अभी एक जस्ट स्मॉल एग्जांपल दे देता हूँ कि मैंने 96 में बिजनेस शुरू किया था, तभी 2800 रुपीज़ पर 10 ग्राम का गोल्ड का प्राइस था. आज हम 2023 दिसंबर का प्राइस देख लेंगे तो अराउंड 64,000 65,000 है. आज तो 70,000 है 3 महीने में, मगर तो आप उसका एप्रिशिएशन लेवल देखेंगे तो 2000 टाइम है. तो 25 साल में हम हर साल 80% गोल्ड का एप्रिशिएशन देख रहे हैं. तो अगर लॉन्ग टर्म देखा जाए तो ये गोल्ड बहुत अच्छा रन दे रहा है, स्टॉक मार्केट से भी बहुत अच्छा रन दे रहा है. तो वो एंगल से आप गोल्ड को देखेंगे तो डेफिनेटली लोग समझेंगे कि लॉन्ग टर्म प्लेयर्स हैं वो टिके रहेंगे. शॉर्ट टर्म जो जिसने अभी 65 में लिया है 70 में बेच के निकल जाएंगे, वो 10-15 दिन डिस्पैरिटी रहेगा, वापस 70,000 में बाइंग आ जाएगा.
ऑल राइट, तो बाइंग तो आनी है लेकिन थोड़ा सा सेटलमेंट यहाँ पर हो जाए. और ऑफ कोर्स जैसे कहा गया कि डिस्काउंट में गोल्ड एज ऑफ नाउ यहाँ पर डोमेस्टिक मार्केट्स में चल रहा है. जेम्स, दिस वन इज टू यू एंड आई विल कम टू अ डिटेल क्वेश्चनिंग हियर, बट फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एन इम्पैक्ट ऑफ द रीसेंट प्राइस रन एंड एनी इम्पैक्ट ऑन सप्लाई चेन डू यू सी बिकॉज ऑफ दैट?
Good morning, friends. February and March are traditionally low demand period, off-season period. And the buying, of course, for various reasons, the jewelers are going low on stocks. But what happened in this February and March is that there has been an excess supply of gold from the scrap market. much more than what the market can absorb. So we have been witnessing a 5% discount between the RTGS, the official gold, and the cash market gold. So somebody buying the grey market or the tax evaded gold, you pay you add the 3% tax, still you make a savings of 2%. So we have been seeing a lot of buying from the grey market to the official segment. So official imports or supply from refineries are hit because we cannot sell at a discount. The Indian market is in a discount of $20 to $25. So refineries are struggling, or we have postponed our imports. So the supply side is met by the scrap gold and other sources. That is what we have been witnessing. And of course, after March, April, May is the busy Akshaya Tritiya period when 40% of the sales in India is happening. So jewelers will start picking up more volumes from April 1st week onwards, and we'll be seeing import by refineries and official bank imports and all that happening from April onwards. Otherwise, it's a very slow moving supply side from scrap segment.
All right, so the demand has been so, the supply chain has been impacted. We've seen scrap gold come in more, and that is something that we will keep an eye on. Neville, this one is to you, and I was reading a notification that's come in this week itself where RBI has allowed 11 authorized banks to start importing gold from 1st of April. How do you see that? How much of gold is bank doing right now? How much by authorized, and how much impact has IIBX made on all the numbers?
Yes. Well, I think the number of banks that are coming who are importing gold remains unchanged. It's an annual policy of RBI. I think.
And if I can ask you, uska bhi kya reason hai?
Why does it happen? Yeah, so as per the Banking Regulation Act, banks are allowed to deal in bullion, right? Buying and selling in bullion. This license is specifically for banks to import gold, right? So if you see the GMS, there is no such requirement that you need to have a license to participate in GMS. You just have to be a designated bank. So this license is for you to import. That is why this license is given. But if there's a bank who doesn't want to import but just wants to be in GMS, the bank can do that, right? So that is why this license is accorded to banks. That's point number one. So I think while there is obviously a change in the market with an exchange coming up, I think what ultimately the market, Indian market is a physical market. All the players are here to service this consumption market, and IIBX is another route of import of gold into this country. So now what is happening is that before banks were permitted by RBI till Feb, you saw a lot of flows coming into IIBX through direct QJs or TRQ holders. Which is great because there is better price discovery for the customer. Now the customer has two routes, IIBX and banks. So he can choose where he wants to go, where is his best price that he's getting, where's the best service he's getting. So at the end of it all, the consumer is going to benefit. That's one. I think secondly, what RBI has done is told banks that now you can become a trading cum clearing member, which facilitates a customer to access the exchange through a bank, and they have said that a nominated bank can become an SCC, which is a special category client, which means that today when I'm importing from an overseas bank, I am now can import through IIBX, right? So I mean the numbers out in the public domain how much IIBX has done, and but I think broadly what is happening is there's a convergence happening now. And I think we need to be mindful of that there's a convergence taking place. So it's not going to be us and them kind of a situation. I think ultimately the regulators are converging the markets where they are saying now banks will also participate. So banks primarily will now be import. So two roles we play. We import metal and we supply metal, right? So we will import now through IIBX, but our supply side will remain unchanged. So I don't see IIBX impacting us in any negative manner. Neither do I see us impacting IIBX in any negative manner. I think there's a convergence that has started, and this will only continue.
So यहाँ से अगर अगले 5 साल देखें तो बैंकर्स और IIBX कितना यहाँ पर काम कर रहे होंगे और कितनी कन्वर्जेंस हो चुकी होगी?
I think it's only going to grow. I think this was the first step, right? And I think it will only grow. What you've got to see now, and I'm sure Mr. Gautam has been working on for very long, is the international suppliers coming. I think once that also is there, I think you will see more liquidity coming into the market. And I think over a period of time, the regulators will probably expand the role of banks in this market. They recognize that.
In what sense?
I think you're already seeing it, right? You're seeing they've permitted resident entities to hedge their gold exposures on GIFT City IBU branches, which I think is a very big step, right, towards opening up the market. And if you really ask me, I think that is another place where banks will really create a lot of value. And a lot of that covering will go into the futures market on the exchange, right? So what I'm trying to say is ultimately you're going to create a value proposition and everyone needs to work together to create that value proposition. It is not us against them or them against us. It is creating a value proposition. Yes, sometimes your objectives will align, sometimes they won't for whatever reasons, but that's okay, that's market, right? So my sense is that this is only going to get better. There's also talks of domestic stock exchanges coming. So I think banks will have a role to play. That role is changing. But I think banks they recognize the role they need to play and the limitation of that role also they have. They can't do what a jeweler does. They can't do what a trader does. They can't do what, a broker does. But they have a role to play and that role is expanding. Yeah.
And you're happy with that, on what really it is evolving as?
Yeah, I mean, anything that helps the market, I think. See, ultimately,
we want. And you don't lose any business because of that.
Sorry?
And you don't lose any business because of this.
See, we may lose some business in the interim, right? But there will be another revenue point which will open up. Like today, the TMCM side has opened up for us, right? So some form or the other, banks have to be involved. But I think we have to look at banks more from a perspective that they create value in every market that they participate. I mean, what the government security market was 30 years back or 20 years back, and today what the government security market is, right? It's because institutional players are in this market. So anywhere institutional play becomes more and banks are key institutional players, you're only going to see those markets improve. So we must include not 11 banks, but more banks in this market for this market to really get better. Because the more banks come in, the market will only keep getting better. So I don't see as a threat. I think it's very, very good for the market. Yeah.
All right, that's heartening to know then. Mr. Gautam, so you obviously are the second questioning line here. With what Neville says, that there's convergence happening here. This is going to be one big, happy market and a family as we see going forward in the next 5 years. With the kind of volumes that we are doing right now, and obviously जो हम 5 साल पहले कर रहे थे और जहाँ पर IIBX आज खड़ा है, बहुत सुंदर अच्छे numbers हैं. अब जिस तरह से ये market आगे बढ़ेगा, कैसे देखते हैं आप overall gold supply chain Indian markets के हिसाब से?
So thank you Manisha ji, and so what Neville has said, I echo those sentiments. Ultimately, the title when it says it's versus this. So what I would say it's plus, it just adds. And we all are part of the same continuum. And if we see the writing on the wall and the way that vision has been set for India to be the price setter of various commodities, including gold, where they are large consumers. And the time has also come that we get counted in the international trade piece. So that is the objective with which we are working. So how that objective will be achieved? When there is a convergence of import through a particular exchange channel and where there are multiple buyers and multiple sellers, and then the whole price piece kicks in. Now coming to the piece where the banks are there and how they work, and I think they are going to beautifully complement what is going to happen. In fact, there was an attempt initially that the banks will start from the very day first on IIBX, but probably it took some time, because what I have now realized, regulators on both sides of the fence, they all weigh, they want to see how the progress is being made. And they want to take those steps, which are small steps, but they are very assured steps. They don't take it back. And then there is a way forward, there is a path which is very well laid out, but they want to test every sphere. On every milestone, they want to see, okay, this progress has been made, is it good enough? Does it serve the purpose? Because ultimately, does it serve the purpose, that is, does it serve the bullion market? And also the objective, ultimately, that our market, how well it is integrated with the global piece. And that's where the IBX role kicks in. Now, but I'll just like to add one or two more points to that. That at some stage, we have to also see from the gold market, which we are trying to develop in IBX, what all other financial products we are able to launch. And this is one point which I have made a few times earlier, that if we say that whatever happens in the GIFT IFSC, and if I say that that is the sandbox is the word they use. That's a sandbox for India. They are experimenting the new products which can be first tested in IFSC and then brought in India. So I think there we are perfectly poised. That on the gold, silver going forward, what kind of financial products we are able to create around it. And so just to tell you how we are getting ready, we are definitely talking about the gold metal loan. Obviously, the banks on both sides of the fence will play a very large role in it. Gold leasing, then the gold repo. So a very exciting thing suddenly happened since Reserve Bank of India came up with that circular that banks are now permitted, and banks have started talking to us. And if I am not saying something which should not be said, but yesterday we got the approval from IFSC for State Bank of India to become the TM and CM. Trading member and clearing member. So that's a very large step for us. And our friend on the dais also are, very soon looking to, come to us. The point I'm trying to make here is, with that circular, we suddenly found that there is interest in the foreign banks, and earlier we were chasing them for a meeting and a web call. We started also getting calls from them that, yes, we'd like to revisit. We want to understand. We have already taken 10 steps. We want to take another 10 steps. Let's have a timeline. That's what is happening. And some of the banks with whom we have been wanting to have a discussion, and they were, playing a little shy, they have reached out to us. Let's set up a call, because they are also understanding that, and it is such a great confidence in the IBX ecosystem when the Indian banks are acting as trading member and clearing member. And those foreign banks are comfortable. Yes, Indian banks are there as TM and CM. And also on the other side, when the nominated banks, whatever is the number right now, they are coming as a special category client to buy, import. And of course, they're very happy. The banks are on the other side. And so we create this whole ecosystem. And I'm also very mindful. On the QJ side, as long as that net worth requirement of 25 crore remains, and we certainly can't service each, jeweler in each town, and certainly for that the banks are very well poised. And that's where the two should work together. And that's how this whole continuum. And at some point of time, the refineries also, I don't want to keep them out of it. Because at some point of time, Indian refineries also have to up their ante, so that during the time when you are at $30, $40, $50 discount and the market globally is at $40 plus, then why not, your bars are going out. And that's where IBX can play a role. It can be the fulcrum where the foreign banks who are there and the foreign bullion dealers who are the buyer, who can, buy freely. And so they can also take it and get the gold out. And this is how it spells out beautifully for us.
Sure.
I would like to add a point. Like both of them are, as a bullion dealer, both of them are complementing each other. Because as a bullion dealer, I am more comfortable buying my gold from bank, because they are offering me various facilities like consignment basis and all that. So I'll be going to him. Earlier he was placing his order with Dubai. Now instead of that, he is buying it from IABX. So it's very fast. The business is more easier also, very transparent also. So it has helped the supply chain. And both of them are complementing. I'll be more than happy to deal with bankers. And they'll be routing my orders. They'll be making the purchase from my ABX. It has become a lot more easier for the supply chain.
Okay. Vipin, would you say the same thing? I hope there's something that you disagree with, because this is becoming a gang now.
No, I can take on the gang, no issue on that. No, I agree to what Neval and Gautamji said regarding the bank and the IIBX complementing each other, no doubt about it. But if you look at from the refinery perspective, I think we are the guy who are losing out on everything. Till 2019, 2020, I think each and every refinery operating in India was having a very good run. Demand was good, pricing was good. There was nothing like Indonesia or Korea or a SEPA or anything. So everyone had a level playing field. No one was undercutting anyone. Then SEPA started. I mean, I have nothing against SEPA, but how it's affecting the market, I will just tell you. SEPA started, initially it was for jewelers, so the traders couldn't get it. Then for whatever reason, the traders were allowed to, import. Now look at the irony of the thing is, traders are today importing at 1% discount. Refineries are still importing. Maybe we are not paying any discount or a premium, but we are importing. Face of it, there is a gap of 1%. Now traders, they don't have to incur any cost when they're importing the bar today. We are incurring a cost which is roughly around 40-45 basis points for refining the doré. There is a carrying cost also, financing it and everything. So the level playing field, what I see for the refiners, and I think there are many refiners sitting here, they agree to it, that we are not getting that level playing field. We can't compete with them. We can compete with bank, no issue on that, but we can't compete with SEPA today, be it gold, be it silver. Indonesia, Korea, we have seen people, they have stopped using the banking channel because Indonesia was available, because Korea was available. The findings thing happened in between. So somehow I think the government should also, look at it. They are signing the agreements, no doubt about it. We can't, do anything on that part. But if there is an industry who is going to get affected, in a big way, the government should give us an ear. What we are feeling is either our association is not strong enough to make government hear that, or we are seriously not interested in government hearing us. That is what I feel. Other than that, as I said, SEPA, the TRQ quota is going to increase on a yearly basis. We refiners will close down in another 2-3 years' time if this continues.
So, if I go 10 years back, and the number of refining capacity and refineries that India had has gone up by a huge number. So all this capacity, all this investment, and with the concerns that there are in the industry right now, what is the way forward from here?
There's that is what, either I will not even say that government should increase the differential, because whatever differential we have today, if it is a level playing field, it is more than enough for the refineries to survive and make money. But when, I am given a 65 basis point differential, SEPA is given 100 basis point differential, there is no point of us competing with them. And
so what is the MMTC plan from here on?
2 years down the line, I think we will lock stock barrel and go home. That is going to happen. Look at last 2 months. February, what happened? Gold prices went up lately. In February, because the quota was expiring, everyone went into SEPA and started buying gold. So a lot of gold came into the market.
If you were on that side, you would do the same.
So, I'm not blaming anyone. See, the people who are importing under SEPA, I'm not blaming them. I am saying the policy. The policy should be a level playing policy for everyone to survive. What they are doing is correct. They are not doing anything illegal that I should complain about. My complaint to the government is, give me that kind of a level playing field so that I can compete with them.
वासु भाई, as of now जो मेरा है, of course आप मुझे अपडेट कर सकते हैं, जो लास्ट मेरा रीडिंग था 30 से 40 के बीच में रिफाइनरीज हैं इंडिया में. जिस तरह का सिचुएशन एज ऑफ नाउ है, जो प्राइसेस हैं, जो सप्लाई चेन है, जो रिसाइकल माल है, कैसे देखते हैं आप अब यहाँ से एक निकाल?
देखिए मैडम, प्रॉब्लम तो है, जो साहब ने बोला उससे मैं एग्री करता हूँ, क्योंकि 0.6
रिफाइनरीज हैं
अभी देखो मैडम, 40 रिफाइनर हो गए NABL और BIS अप्रूव्ड रिफाइनर. उसमें से मैक्सिमम 5 या 7 वर्किंग है, बाकी के लोग वैसे भी छोड़ के चले गए हैं. क्योंकि जो सप्लाई का इशू है, तो रिफाइनरी में 2 इशू है, मैं आपको समझाता हूँ. एक तो 0.65 जो है वो डिफरेंस कम है और वो डेफिनेटली एक्सेप्टेड है। उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट पे जाना ही पड़ेगा और उनके साथ फरियाद के तौर पे ही जाना पड़ेगा कि ये अब इसको कुछ बढ़ाइए।
तो ये रिफाइनरी एसोसिएशन करेगा, इब्जा करेगा?
नहीं, रिफाइनरी एसोसिएशन ऑलरेडी अभी उन्होंने अप्रोच तो किया है, मगर मेरे ख्याल से ये इलेक्शन के बाद उसके ऊपर कुछ स्टेप लिया जाएगा। दूसरा प्रॉब्लम है सप्लाई का। जो सप्लाई में क्या है कि जो माइनर्स है वो रिस्पॉन्सिबल सोर्सिंग जो माइनर्स हैं वो इंडिया के सिर्फ LBMA रिफाइनर्स को ही सप्लाई दे रहे हैं, ना कि अदर रिफाइनर्स को। तो अभी इंडिया में तो एक ही LBMA रिफाइनरी है, तो उसी को ही सप्लाई मिल रहा है जो बेरिक या एंग्लो गोल्ड या न्यू माउंट जैसे माइनर्स हैं। बाकी के रिफाइनर्स को वो माल नहीं मिल रहा है। तो अल्टीमेटली क्या है कि बाकी के अगर एक ही आदमी को मोनोपोली देने वाले हैं तो गवर्नमेंट भी सोचेगी, पर यहाँ पे LBMA होने के लिए क्यों लोग नहीं आ रहे हैं? तो वो भी एक रीज़न है कि एक तो डिफरेंशियल्स कम है, दूसरा क्या है कि जो एग्रीमेंट्स हुए हैं, FTA एग्रीमेंट्स है, LDC एग्रीमेंट है, ये सारे एग्रीमेंट्स के अंतर्गत कुछ ना कुछ लोग प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं और उसमें जो मटेरियल आ रहा है वो डिस्काउंटेड मटेरियल है और उसके कारण रिफाइनरियाँ नहीं चल पा रही हैं। तो ये प्रॉब्लम तो आगे जाके रहने वाला है। अगर इसको जल्द से जल्द नहीं सॉल्व किया तो रिफाइनरी को इश्यू है।
आई जस्ट वांट टू काउंटर वासु भाई। मैंने लास्ट टाइम भी इनको सुना था, मैं काउंटर कर नहीं पाया था बिकॉज मैं वहाँ बैठा हुआ था। You know, when Vasu bhai says that there is a monopoly of MMTC Bank being an LBMA and all mines, you know, I will tell Vasu bhai, 2012 we started. We were going around to mines saying that, you know, we are now starting, please give us a dore. You won't believe it. Not a single mine wanted to transact any business with us because we were not LBMA. That's the fact. Then luck happens that Barrick, they said, okay, because they had a very good relation with our parent, you know, MKS. They said, okay, we will try it on one condition. You give us in writing that you will go in for an LBMA accreditation. Now, my question to Vasu bhai is, who is stopping the refiners in India to go in for the accreditation? Did LBMA tell them, ki Vasu bhai, don't come to us, we are not going to give the accreditation? The problem here itself, you know, we try to blame others. The problem is within us. If they have the guts to do it, they can do it today. Go and get the accreditation. We did it. We struggled for 3 years. We did the accreditation, and you know, that accreditation is costing us many things which we are not able to do today. So, my question to all the refiners here, did LBMA tell them not to come to us for accreditation? And why have no one tried it? Let them answer that.
मैडम, इसका मैं आंसर देता हूँ। ये LBMA है ना, आप देखेंगे 2017 से लेके 2023 तक ओनली 2 रिफाइनर या 1 रिफाइनर को उन्होंने एक्रीडेशन किया है। अभी 17 से 28 रिफाइनरियाँ ऑन रो पड़ी हुई है और हर साल वो अपने आप को अपग्रेड करते हैं। जैसे इन्होंने जब भी अपग्रेडेशन LBMA एक्रीडेशन लिया था तो उनका जो 7 स्टैंडर्ड पास का एक्रीडेशन था, अभी वो हम जाते हैं तो कि अभी आपको 9 स्टैंडर्ड पास करना पड़ेगा, फिर बोलेंगे 12th करना पड़ेगा, फिर ग्रेजुएशन करना पड़ेगा, फिर PhD करना पड़ेगा। तो हम कब तक उनके पास चले जाएं? अभी हमने RMI ऑडिटेड RJC ऑडिटेड रिफाइनरी है मेरा ऑलरेडी अहमदाबाद में। हम लोगों ने करने के बाद बहुत बार अप्रोच किया है, पर हम जाके रो में खड़े हो जाते हैं। आज LBMA ने कितने रिफाइनर को एक्रीडेट किया 2017 के बाद, आप बताइए। तो हम एग्री करते हैं कि हम जाके रो में खड़े होने के।
This is the problem with us, Manisha. You know, we try to blame the other side. अब खड़े हो जाइए, लाइन में खड़े होंगे तो नंबर आएगा ना। लाइन में खड़े होने के बाद ही नंबर आता है। आप
I want to come and sit there. मुझे वहाँ बैठ के ये सुन।
लॉटरी खरीदोगे तभी लॉटरी लगेगी, पर ये सपने देखोगे कि मेरे को लॉटरी लगनी चाहिए and you don't buy a ticket. This is the problem, Manisha. LBMA never says that. They have, you know, when you talked about post-graduation, graduation, aren't we, you know, going through that today also? You know, every time they do an upgradation, they tell us to follow it.
But
we have to follow it.
पर आप एक्रीडेट होने के बाद अपग्रेड हो रहे हैं, हमको एक्रीडेशन से पहले अपग्रेड कर दिया जाता है।
आदमी वो लोअर केजी करके फर्स्ट में आता है, फिर 12वीं में जाता है, फिर ग्रेजुएशन करता है। कोई स्टेट ग्रेजुएशन करने नहीं आता है। सो यू नो, दिस इज व्हाट आई फील And most of the time, last 10 years, I have been hearing it, you know, हम अपनी कमियों को छुपाने के लिए दूसरों को ब्लेम करने में बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
अच्छा, I think ये तो एक final word वासु भाई and then.
देखिए मैडम, 30 रिफाइनर्स हैं इंडिया में, उसमें ज़्यादातर बैरिक, न्यू माउंट, एंग्लो गोल्ड, इनकी सबसे ज़्यादा 18-17 माइनिंग है और 30 माइनर्स हैं और 15 या 17 LBMA रिफाइनर है. ये 50 लोग आज पूरे वर्ल्ड के ऊपर बिजनेस चला रहे हैं और ये 50 लोग पूरा वर्ल्ड का बिजनेस देख रहे हैं. अगर जो 5-6 रिफाइनरियाँ जो रशिया की थी वो भी डिस्क्वालीफाइड कर दी गई. अभी हम लोग क्या चाहते हैं कि हम ये इतना इंडिया बड़ा कंट्री है जहाँ पे 1500 टन गोल्ड आता है, 1200 टन आता है, 1000 टन जैसा अपना स्क्रैप जनरेशन है. अभी हम कितनी बार उनसे बताएं, ना वो लोग इंडिया में आते हैं, ना अप्रोच उनका बराबर रहता है. इवन हम उनका जो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड देखेंगे कि 6-6 साल तक एक रिफाइनरी वो लोग अब अप्रूव नहीं कर रहे हैं. तो वाई शुड वी हैव टू गो ऑन देम. और हम हमारे एक्सचेंज में उनका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट भी क्यों चलावे कि जो नए लोगों को अलाउ ही नहीं कर रही है. तो ये तो मेरे ख्याल से दिक्कत है. आपको ये नेशनल इशू ही है.
ओके,
वो फाइनल, सॉरी, हाँ, LBMA को क्यों अलाउ कर रही है, दिस इज द वर्ड वासु भाई यूज्ड. यू नो, वी कैन आल्सो से दुबई गुड डिलीवरी को क्यों अलाउ कर रही है. Does he have an answer for that?
Yes, sir.
No, this is.
You have an answer for that?
I have an answer. इंडिया ने लास्ट ईयर 68 टन ज्वेलरी एक्सपोर्ट किया है UAE में, जहां UAE गवर्नमेंट ने हमको 5% डिडक्शन दिया है ड्यूटी कंसेशन. और इंडिया ने 91 टन फिनिश गोल्ड इंपोर्ट किया है, जब इंडिया ने उनको 1% ड्यूटी कंसेशन दिया है. तो विच इज द बेटर ट्रेड.
हिंदुस्तान की गवर्नमेंट एक्सपोर्ट आपको अलाउ नहीं करती है. जो बार आज आप $3 प्रीमियम में इंपोर्ट करते हो, सरकार बोलती है कि 2% वैल्यू एडिशन में एक्सपोर्ट करो. You know, apple to an apple, banana to a banana. Not apple and banana cannot be compared. I mean, you know, this argument can go on.
I so see that, and I'm feeling like a referee here, but we will stop it right here and we will talk about this. But I do believe that we have a follow-up on this कि जो refinery association है वो अब यहाँ पर आगे जाके क्या काम करेगी. हम शायद एक आधा 2 questions ले सकते हैं in case somebody wants to make a. Nothing? Okay. And before I give it up, you know, this is really mandatory because I know we have, हमारा एक बाद में panel है जिसके ऊपर हम prices पे बात करेंगे. लेकिन यहाँ पर भी दिग्गज लोग हैं and I really wish कि हम हर panel पे at least ये बात पूछें कि आपको gold price कहाँ लगता है. Positive, यहाँ से भी ऊपर.
What's the time span?
I mean, I'm not putting you in a corner here कि कहाँ ही जा रहा है गोल्ड, मुझे पक्के से बताओ कब तक जा रहा है, लेकिन आपको कहाँ लगता है कहाँ जा रहे हैं हम?
That's a short term, long term.
हम 2500 जा रहे हैं, 2600 जा रहे हैं.
2500 long term.
2500 this year?
Long term.
Long term 2500. 2500. Ashok ji. 1 year.
We are a platform. Wherever is the price, we'll serve the industry.
I know those things. But where are we going? Are you equally bullish on gold?
I mean, putting me in different.
I'm not asking for a disclaimer and a caveat
No,
here.
okay,
It's just
ठीक
like,
है. I mean,
bullish.
So it looks like, you know, the way the whole things globally are poised, and it's not a secret that China essentially is leading this whole piece. You know, the kind of gold which is being bought by the central government there and the Chinese people, and that's where, you know, the premium which right now we are seeing in China market. I think they are leading it, and the demand will continue. And this is also the point which was made by Vasubhai. You know, what is the confidence in the US dollar as a currency?
Ashokji, price.
So what I'm trying to say, see, I've been a dealer throughout my life, so I always say this, and then I say that's how you conclude, you know, that it will go up. Yeah.
It will go up.
Yeah.
वासु भाई 70,000, 80,000, 1 लाख. हर इंटरेस्ट रेट कट पे $50 बढ़ेगा. 3 रेट कट आ रहे हैं $150.
Well, short term तो गोल्ड ऊपर ही है, but I think long term साल 1.5 साल के अंदर I don't think gold is going to sustain.
ठीक है. So 2024-25 में सोना ऊपर ही है. सप्लाई चेन की बात हम यहाँ पर कर ही चुके हैं. अभी तो हमने अनऑफिशियल चैनल्स में जो सप्लाई चेन है उसके ऊपर बात नहीं करी है. बट बारिंग दैट इट डज लुक फाइन एक्सेप्ट रिफाइनिंग पार्ट जो शायद हमें आगे जाकर सॉल्व करने की जरूरत है. पैनलिस्ट, थैंक यू सो मच. द फर्स्ट पैनल ऑफ द डे एंड वीव हैड एन एक्साइटिंग कॉन्वर्सेशन.